Hello.
Welcome to our YouTube video.
Yeah, this is our pilot episode, so this is our first time on film, so please forgive us if we look really weird and awkward.
Not ready.
So today we're going to go over a couple of things, including who we are. So if you are new to our YouTube channel, you've never met us before, my name is Alexis Morales.
I'm Brandy Wiltermuth.
She's a nurse practitioner, and I'm her medical assistant, and I help her literally do everything.
Literally everything.
Yes.
Yes. We're a really, really good team.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm also one of her patients. So she helped me lose 60 pounds about 3 years ago. Did take me about a year and a half. So I am going strong, and I continue to help patients with her in clinic lose weight every day.
Right. So we work together at a clinic called 3 Health. Where we do medical weight loss, diabetes management, cholesterol, cardiovascular risk, and very soon we're going to add another element of service to our clinic, but we're going to let you wonder about that for a little bit.
All right, so since this is kind of our pilot episode for YouTube and we're not really, video ready because we're always talking to each other in a private room.
Right. It's kind of weird to not be looking at you.
I know.
Okay,
so what else are we going to talk about? Our challenge, right?
Okay, so why don't you give a history of this said challenge?
Yes, this challenge that has morphed from push-ups to exercising on a weekly basis to we're going to take a supplement that we never started and measuring our biometrics monthly. We have stuck to one of those because we are really, really busy and we see tons of patients every day. And sometimes we really struggle to get to the podcast, but we want to make sure that we're communicating with you guys. And this is our attempt at kind of doing both.
Right. 2 birds, 1 stone,
yeah,
as they would say.
All right. So challenge-wise, we have kind of remained the same. I have lost and gained body fat and muscle mass. I'm kind of back at the beginning of where I started.
What was your goal?
My goal was to lose body fat percentage. If I lost weight in that, it would be fine, but to gain muscle on a ketogenic diet.
Okay.
That was the ultimate bottom line goal.
Yeah. And mine was to gain muscle.
Okay.
I didn't necessarily, if I lost body fat, that would be a bonus, kind of like, okay. But it wasn't really my focus.
So did you gain muscle at all?
I did when I was working out for those months, and then I've since lost it.
Okay. So I have gained muscle. I've gained about 5 pounds of muscle, and I lost about 3% of my body fat percentage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good job.
I know. I'm so excited.
I actually went up a percentage last time, but since that last test, I have started to do more regular exercise.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got an elliptical.
I know you told me about it. I really like it. It's also industrial size, so it's the size of a small room.
Well, it's a commercial model. Okay. So it's like 4 gyms, not for home. And we got that one because...
You really went for it, didn't you?
Yeah, and it wasn't an upsell or anything because the guy was like, you probably just need a home one. But then he was saying how much better the commercial ones are made. And we bought it used, so it wasn't like right out of the box.
Okay, good.
But it was our Christmas, anniversary, birthday presents to one another.
Aww.
So, getting in shape.
Yeah, because before you had a bike with a trainer.
Right, and my tailbone hates that.
Okay,
So
but the elliptical is standing up.
It is, and, I have to go into it slowly so I don't bother my hip.
Okay.
But it's been going fine, and I'm doing it.
Okay, so let's kind of like reevaluate where we are and what we're going to do. I think that I am going to start being more active.
I think I am going to.
I think I am going to.
When do you think?
The goal is to get to the gym 3 times a week.
Okay.
Physically go to the gym. I am active at home. I just don't physically go to the gym. And that's kind of where I want to be as far as weightlifting to build muscle mass.
So if you are going to the gym, does that mean you can't just go sit in the sauna?
I do, but I don't.
Does it count?
No.
Oh, I would count it. You went there.
Okay.
You're taking care of yourself.
Okay, a little bit of self-care, a little bit of me time in the sauna.
Yeah, I think it counts. I definitely think it counts.
Okay, so. Valid. So if you're out there and you want to go to the gym just to go to the sauna, it's okay.
Or sauna. Or a hot tub or whatever it is that you go there for.
Yeah.
And you don't work out, you're paying for it, so might as well go.
Okay, so what else? We have a lot of new listeners on our podcast. Lots of new patients recently. So it seems like people are kind of getting the message. Keto's really blowing up. Really happy about that. We're really excited to see that now in the public eye, becoming accepted and utilized. And we want to help you utilize keto as a tool.
Yeah. And, ketogenic, I just want to clarify for everybody, if you just don't eat carbs, that does not mean you're doing a ketogenic diet. It means that you might get into ketosis, but a ketogenic diet is a medical diet for a specific reason, and it means that you are eating 75% of your calories from fat and 20% of your calories from protein and 5% or as little as possible from carbohydrates. Yes. So when people say all the time, oh, I'm doing keto, they're not really doing keto unless they're doing that. So just to clarify.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Most people are doing a really aggressive low carb or very low carbohydrate diet, and they're kind of, they're not tracking their macros, which is fine. If it works, you don't have to do that.
Right. I was going to say, unless it's not beneficial, then you would need to kind of take a look at your macronutrients and make adjustments.
If you're like, okay, I'm doing this very low carbohydrate diet and it's just not working, then you might need to look into it a little bit more. But most people lose a lot of weight. They do fine just cutting out carbohydrates as much as they can and eating as little as possible. And that is great, but it's not a ketogenic diet, just so y'all know.
And on the other end of that spectrum, there is a possibility to be eating too much protein.
There is.
Yeah.
It's rare, but you'd have to really try, but it can sometimes hold people back. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people, like our patients, when they start, I always tell them that I don't trust their appetite and satiety signals at all. I don't think that they've been communicating their stomach to their brain very well. And we have to kind of repair that connection so that people can start to tell and trust their body that it knows what it's doing and that it's telling you the appropriate signal for what it's needing. But that takes a little while. So at first, we just kind of have to do more of a prescribed plan, and then we can graduate to more of an intuitive eating style. But that's a little advanced.
So I figured we might want to go into a little bit about what we're doing right now, and then let our listeners / watchers get to know a little bit more about us. So right now, I've been sharing with you that I've been doing 5Ks.
Yeah.
Yes. So incorporated into my abilities is running, although I'm not very good, and I wanted to introduce that into my lifestyle to be more active. So last week I did a 5K, and I'm doing another one on Thanksgiving morning.
Yay! Did you run the whole thing?
I ran most of it. Yeah,
oh,
there were some parts that were really hard to run because we went on this track that was slanted, and so when I was kind of tilted at a 30-degree angle, it was really uncomfortable to run.
Yeah.
So I walked those parts, but for the rest of the part, I did run.
Good job.
Yeah, it really hurt my knees on the slant. I don't know why they would put part of the track on that. It was bad.
Just walk over that part.
Yeah.
If you have to do it again.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. As far as activity for me, I walk my dogs, but then I'm putting my self-care and my activity first and foremost in my day. So I get up and the first thing I do is I'll go to the bathroom, but then I get my shoes on and I go on the elliptical for a very minimum 10 minutes.
Do you really in the morning? I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. And then I sometimes do other stuff because I'm doing exercise, right? I'm started doing it. So
brushing your teeth.
I'll do push-ups on the stairs, and I have some weights and I have to foam roll the muscles of my hip, which is really torturous. and not really exercise, but it helps because if I don't do that, then I just get knots in my
Don't
muscles.
discount stretching, because stretching is awesome.
I'm sweating when I'm doing it because it hurts so bad.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my little routine right now, and I feel good about it because it's taken me a while to rebound from the lack of activity, regular activity. I would do fits and spurts here and there, but ever since May when I got the cat thing, I really haven't been back to the gym. So that's next.
Ever since I got a boyfriend, I haven't been to the gym either.
Dang it.
I know.
So, but then eating-wise, how you been doing?
Pretty good. Yeah. So I've lately been posting on our social media what I've been eating every night, which we always say that we're going to do. Or I was like, we'll take pictures of our food, and then we never do it. So
I do sometimes.
I've been making an actual effort, and my significant other has been really helping me, like, to remind me, because I had eaten already a portion of my dinner. He's like, wait, you didn't take a photo. So I have to, like, set up this little, screening area with lighting and oh my God, it's like an ordeal.
I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
But I went to a pizza place to have dinner, and they had a crustless pizza, and it was really good.
Yeah, so it was pizza served without the crust in that one of those
like a cast iron little skillet thing.
Yeah, what they serve the fajitas in usually. It's like steaming. Was it steaming? Oh.
It was hot. I mean,
Okay.
They had just taken it, it was all the pizza toppings that I ordered and whatever. And it was so much food. I couldn't eat it all, obviously, because it's just like the protein part.
Right.
But what was kind of funny is that the server was like, yeah, even our pizza sauce is keto. And I looked at her and I was like, that can't be possible, but okay. Because she's like, there's no sugar in it. And I was like, yeah, but tomatoes aren't really keto. But I'm not going to argue with her. So
it's better than the alternative.
It is. And again, it's just kind of like the obvious misunderstanding of what a ketogenic diet is. It doesn't mean no sugar. But
so recently, for our listeners, we talked about the Thanksgiving dinner that I posted on the website, and I tried the pumpkin cheesecake bars and failed. So I said there was a picture coming soon because I was waiting for it to firm up in the fridge, and I must have done something wrong because it didn't firm up, and so it was like a soupy kind of mess. Anyway, so I'm going to work on that for you guys and redo it, and then I'll do a photo because I think I messed up the size of the pan because I didn't have a 9x6. Oh. So I used something else. List. Yeah. So I have to redo it, and then I'll show you guys. We ended up not eating it because it was a soup instead of a bar.
Yeah. Well, that's part of it. You got to try different things, and sometimes you are going to win, and sometimes you're going to fail. So.
Yes, and if you're hearing this for the first time, go to 3.health. And actually, you know what? I'll put a link on our ffspodcast.com website so that you can see all the recipes that we posted. We had a wonderful couple. They're patients of ours that organized an entire keto Thanksgiving, shared their entire experience with us, and allowed us to share it with you guys. And we are happy to do that. I'm telling you right now, I'm trying all of the recipes. I have so many patients that have come to me and said, I'm doing this week. I'm going to do that for Thanksgiving. It's so awesome to see. I'm so grateful that the Rocksteads we were truly honored that they shared that with us.
Yeah, and they are rock stars.
Yes.
So, and we would love to see your guys' stuff. If you have, tried a keto recipe and it's turned out and it's awesome and you want to tell more people about it to spread the love, we will be happy to be that conduit to get that information out.
Yes. So that brings me to my next point. We are I say Brandy is the keto expert, and we want to hear your questions. So if you want to like and comment at the bottom of this video, leave us a little question and we'd be happy to answer it for you. Or if you want to send us a private question, maybe it's a little personal, you can email us at forfatsakepodcast@gmail.com. We also work at a practice here in Edmonds, Washington, and we help people lose weight every single day. You can go to our website, view Brandy's biography, and learn about our practice, and that's www.3.health.
Come check it out.
Yeah, tons of recipes. We got a blog. We got tons of things going on.
Yeah, and this is a really a kind of important time of the year for people because traditionally they're gaining weight and they go, oh, I gain 10 pounds every holiday season.
Yeah, it's like accepted fate.
And you know, it just doesn't have to be that way. And you might not set the goal of losing weight, which is fine, but if you can just maintain. And so we have a couple podcasts about holiday eating and how to survive that. And you'll see those on our page as well and on the 3 Health website.
Yeah, and all our social medias, all of them. And now YouTube. Hi, YouTube.
I tried to cancel the holidays again this year, and it didn't happen.
And your family was like, no.
The whole world's like, no, we're going to have them.
Could you do it without it?
Yeah.
I couldn't do it without Christmas.
I know. Okay, well, you know.
I can do it without Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I like Thanksgiving, actually.
I like Black Friday.
There's a lot less stress, I think, than like, oh, you have to buy stuff for every single person that you know, and it just gets overwhelming. But anyway,
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't buy everything for everyone.
Well, I feel like if I could show everyone appreciation through buying them a gift, I would, and I just can't. So, I mean, I just don't have the time, energy, or bandwidth, but I would like to be able to.
A little tidbit about me for the holidays, I am a card maker, so I make beautiful cards by hand for people.
What I'm going to get.
Yeah.
She made cards last year. It was pretty cool.
Oh, you mean for Christmas? Your Christmas present?
Mm-hmm.
It's a secret.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
I know what mine is, though.
Here we go. So any substantive things that we want to talk about? Any patient situations, stories? You know what happened today? This is, I think, important.
Okay.
So we had a lady come in. She was referred to us from a cardiologist here.
Shout out cardiology. Hey.
In Edmonds. And I have a relationship with this cardiologist. He knows my MO and how we help people and what we do here. And so he referred this patient over to us. And I didn't get a full medical history, but I do know that she had suffered a stroke not too long ago. And she was seeing the cardiologist because she has some, cardiology issues. And he wanted her to come over here. And so we sat with her yesterday and talked about the program and how it works and getting to know us a little bit. And we set up evaluations for her to come in and get started. And she did that yesterday. She scheduled those appointments. And then she came in today and she was very upset and she canceled them. And it just was what we know now. You know, it used to kind of upset me and I wanted to help people and I couldn't understand how they couldn't see how
You
great...
almost want to push them, right?
Yeah.
But we have to
But she isn't ready. She just isn't ready. She doesn't know where else to turn, and she might be back, and I bet she will be back because we talked about all of the things that she's not done before trying to lose weight, like deal with the behavioral aspects. And when we talked to her in the consult, you could tell that she had a lot of fear. She just didn't know how it was going to work for her, and she hadn't had any success before. So she was very fearful, and everybody is. But it kind of takes a leap of faith, and she just wasn't quite there. So
it's not the first time either. We had a patient, or I guess a would-be patient, who openly admitted that she wasn't ready to accept that she was even overweight.
Right.
It was difficult for her to accept that and then want to do something about it, which is understandable. Like, I get it.
So people have to be ready. And I think, then yesterday I had a nursing student with me, and he, after learning about our program and watching what we were doing, he was like, I have a friend that needs to come here. And I said, all you can do is really tell them about it and support them, but you can't, when people are not ready, they're not going to do it. And they're not, even if they do it, they're not going to really try or be able to succeed. So you got to be ready.
Yeah.
And for some reason, people are ready after January 1st. But actually, that isn't when we're busiest, is it?
No, our busiest is in March.
And my theory about that is that people have to start looking at wearing less clothing. And that's the trigger that really gets people, because you can kind of wear baggy or bigger clothes and it's cold out and whatever, but then when you have to start finding clothes that don't cover you up as much.
Or they have tried right at the beginning of the year to lose the weight that they gained over the holidays.
This time I'm going to do it.
Yes, and they are struggling, or they have failed, or they don't know what to do anymore. They've continued to gain weight every single year. They haven't been able to get it off. So commonly, we actually hear this from patients. They've gained 5 pounds every year for the past 10 years.
Right.
And it was slow to come on. So when patients come in and we explain to them the length of our program, and, it kind of looks daunting, but we have to explain, it took you 10 years to put that on.
Right.
We're going to take 2 years to help you get it off.
Right. Right. So, yeah. And then I think another kind of example of some of the patients that we see is we have a few people that are type 2 diabetics on insulin. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. And for those people, it's a much more meticulous process because it's more about managing that blood sugar process and medications that they're taking and those kinds of things. But I love it. I get the biggest reward of taking people off of insulin and reducing their doses and taking them off other drugs. So
secretly, not so secret anymore, we get really excited when they're on tons of medications, they're on insulin, you're diabetic. Woohoo! We're going to have fun with you because we're going to help you.
Well, and you know what the woman said? She's like, if I get off a couple of my medications, it'll pay for the program. So there you go.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So we love it, and we like challenges, but you got to be ready.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
And diabetes is expensive.
Yeah. And it's hard. If you think losing weight is hard, diabetes is harder.
Yeah. We cost pennies on the dollar compared to having diabetes. So it's up to you.
So I guess in summary, if you're interested or you know someone that is, all you can do is support and usher and try to get them to the right place and see how it goes.
Okay, so small recap before we go, and we're going to move into another segment, but I want to recap a little bit of information because I don't want to confuse everybody. We have 2 podcasts. We have one that is specific to the providers here at 3 Health, and that's called Weight Loss Conversations, also available anywhere you listen to podcasts. Me and Brandy host a podcast where we have tons of guests, as well as on Weight Loss Conversations, but here on For Fat's Sake podcast. So that one's a little bit more, or not more, less structured, more fun.
Yeah, we're not as, professional on For Fat's Sake.
And then we have 2 websites. So one for our podcast and blog, and it's ffspodcast.com. And then we have our formal clinic website. That's www.3.health. Both have blogs, both have recipes. You can find all of our contact information on both of those platforms, but I want to be clear that there are a couple different outlets that we use. So that's Weight Loss Conversations and For Fat's Sake podcast.
Yep. Thanks. Good job.
Yes.
And if you don't know, we have some very simple words to live by that we talk about at the end of each segment, which is fat doesn't make you fat.
Sugar makes you fat.
Then we talk about horror movies in a segment we call
Killers, Cannibals, and Psychos. So if you are not ready for that, you don't want to listen to horror movies, then this is the part.
You're not a horror movie fan.
Yeah.
This is where you bow out, okay? But if you like horror movies like we do, then stick around because we're going to review some.
Cool. Thank you for listening. Again, we really appreciate all of our listeners. When you guys write in and tell us how much that you love us, oh my God. It's so awesome. So keep doing that.
Yes.
Because we love to read them and they help us continue to do this because showing us that you love what we're doing only makes us want to do it more for you.
And that it works.
Yes. And
welcome back to
Killers,
Cannibals,
and Psychos. Okay, so this week I did what I said I was going to do, and I watched it. And I forgot how scary this movie was. I'm sure you're going to be like, oh, it wasn't that scary, but it was kind of scary, okay? And it was long, and very unexpected. Some of the gorier parts were very unexpected.
Yeah, like the bathroom filling with blood?
Yes, that The kid getting his arm ripped off. Yeah. Horrible. Let's see what else.
Daniel at the bathroom scene, he was like, "This is a horror movie," because we watched it from 1990.
Yeah.
You know, my rating was 0. 0
out
of 10 stars. But interestingly, after watching that, what they did is they put that movie on steroids, and then they changed around the roles of the characters. Mm-hmm. So like in the original one, the little boy that's, overweight was the one being bullied, and in this one it's the girl.
The little boy that's overweight's being bullied too.
He is, but it wasn't the same degree.
Okay.
Like they both were in the first one,
mm-hmm.
but the girl, it was just kind of like, yeah, they didn't like her,
They called her a slut.
Right. And in the very first one,
yeah.
the 1991, she was just kind of like not accepted into the group. But they didn't spend a lot of time and attention on her like torture.
Okay.
They spent a lot of time and attention on the boy's torture.
Which was horrific if you have seen that movie. Horrific. They carved an H into his belly. And then he got slashed by the It monster. I don't really know what to call it. The It clown?
It's just It.
The It got slashed. And it was shocking that when they were approached by the parent and one of the kids got taken away, like, what are you doing with those kids? And she didn't say anything about the huge gash in his stomach.
Okay, so...
Like, maybe you should go to the hospital, little kid.
So in the very first original one, they address this situation. In the second one now, or the whatever...
First chapter.
They didn't address the fact that the whole community was, like, knew about this and were not in on it, but didn't care. Like, they knew about it in a way, and they just didn't do anything about it, and they didn't protect the children at all.
Interesting.
So they talked about that in the original one,
mm-hmm.
and in this one, they didn't address it, but they showed the same kind of behavior from the adults. Just kind of like not really worried about it, not zoning in on the fact that the kid's gonna bleed to death or whatever. And that was just part of the whole area of dairy, right?
Yeah.
Because the kid that was doing the research in the library, in the original one, that was the black guy.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
They just changed around the roles, and like who did what in the previous movie. They assigned those to different characters in the second movie, but it was the same roles, really.
Yeah, and he played both roles then. So the chubby kid, he played the bullied and the researcher. Because he seemed to know his room was crazy.
Right. But then they did have, the black kid came into the story at about the same time as he did in the other one, but mm-hmm. He was doing different things.
And I was trying to imagine, so this is supposed to be happening in like the late 80s, right? Were, black people really persecuted to that degree? I mean, it seems pretty late in the century.
Well, what do you mean?
He was just bullied by even adults for being, or not adults, but the older kids just for being black.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's brutal.
I'm sure that happens every day still. So it was interesting that way. And if I hadn't seen them back to back, I wouldn't have remembered or made that correlation. But because I watched them back to back, you could kind of see the storyline. But chapter 1 was a million times better than the 1990 version.
Oh, good. I really liked it. And Trampus got really scared. He's like, I have goosebumps all over my body. Feel them. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, it was scary, So I guess another example of the adults not really giving a shit is like her dad.
Right. And he didn't see it, but it was physically there because they had to clean it up,
so
right?
So none of the adults saw any of it.
So all the blood in her bathroom, he walked in and didn't see it and was like, what's wrong with you?
Right. And that was with all of these situations.
Yeah.
Like the kids didn't see any of the horrible, scary stuff that the adults didn't see.
Yeah,
that the kids were seeing.
It.
So interesting. It was way better, but I kind of want to watch the second one now.
I know. I'm excited.
It's gotten better. It's not a 0 anymore.
Okay. I'm thinking about my favorite part, and my favorite part is, and I'm so sorry, I can't remember his name, but he was so funny, and he was the guy, or not guy, the kid who was just afraid of germs. Oh my God, he had me cracking up the entire time.
Is that you?
Oh God, no, but I'm just like, I know people like that, and that kid, if he was my friend, I would just keep him around for comedic relief, because he was like, my hallucination, or not hallucination, the person that he saw was a leper, and he was just basically a walking infection. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
I love this kid.
They did a good job on the characters for sure.
He was so grown up. Between his like haircut and his clothing, he was just so cute and like grown up in a little way. And then I thinking about it makes me crack up, because he's like, my mom's gonna have an aneurysm if she finds out where I'm hanging out.
Yeah, everything was like medically based, and yeah, he knew all the terms and everything. So yeah, it was good. So what do you rate it?
You know, I really liked this movie, and I would watch it again. I feel sad that I did not remember a lot of it from the theater, because I do remember going to the theater to see this, but I don't remember a lot of it. I would give it a solid 7.5.
Wow. Okay. I would not.
It scared me, so, you know.
Well, yeah, it was scary at points. I think I would give it like a 5.
A 5? Okay.
Yeah.
We gotta wait till number 2 comes out, because it's like completion, you know, and maybe you'll up your score.
Maybe I'll appreciate it more.
We'll do a cumulative score. Cumulative.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I said
An accumulation.
Right? An accumulation. So mine's a 7.5. You're at a 5. I think that's pretty good.
But you didn't review the very first one.
No, because I still haven't watched it, because I don't have 3 hours to kill.
Oh my God, more like 4. It was terrible.
The thought of like sitting down for 3 hours to watch something really makes me not want to do it.
Yeah, it's really hard.
I'll just be honest.
You could fast forward through a lot of it, you know, like scenes of the grass and nature and whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But still, like, it was long. It was too long. So
I do recommend it for moviegoers alike. If you've read the book, totally. If you love Stephen King, awesome. And it had a really good storyline. Had comedic relief, like I said. Lots of scary instances, not just jump scares, but like nightmare scares. You might have nightmares from this film. Mm-hmm. One of those would be the boy who was quick-witted with his medical terms, and he fell and broke his arm. And when it was kind of attacking him, that was like a really intense, scary moment. So I would say, yes, please go watch this film if you haven't already, and read the book. We haven't, but you can.
Yeah, we don't have 3 hours to watch a movie, and we don't have time to read a book. So we're going to watch It Chapter 2 next.
Yes.
If you'd like to follow along, we'd love to hear your comments and your reviews. And if you want to rate it, consider that information when we're looking at stuff.
And we're still going down a list of recommendations from listeners. So if you have a recommendation, we're going to tack it onto the list, and we will watch it for you and tell you all about it.
You know what we need to do?
Yeah.
I mean, you need to do?
Oh, yeah. Me. Because I do it.
We need to make a list of the ones we've already watched.
Oh, God.
So that people don't suggest the ones that we already watched.
Oh, man.
And then they can go back and listen to our reviews of the ones that we already watched if they wanted to have us review it.
Or our listeners can do it for us. No.
We will hire you.
No. I will go through. I'll do that someday.
Why weren't we writing it down? We don't do show notes, do we?
No.
Okay, well, we're going to work on that for you.
You do chart notes. I do paperwork in the office. I mean, it's just one more thing.
Yeah. But if we get the list built, then we just have to add one at a time.
Okay.
It'll be much simpler.
I can probably offhand name most of them, so I'll get to work on that. Okay, you guys, so leave your comment. Remember to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. For our listeners on the podcast, if you leave us a review, oh my gosh, it helps so much.
Yeah.
So please do that, and feel free to check us out on our website. We have tons of information, tons of deals to help save you money on keto products. And
One last thing. We are going to do a clothing drive again.
That's right.
We haven't set the date, but if you're in getting rid of stuff or cleaning up your closet or whatever, it's time to get rid of the stuff that doesn't fit you. We donate nice clothing that can be worn to a professional job or business casual type job, to a working wardrobe for women. We're looking at a place to donate clothing for men. But the other thing that's coming up is in January, on January 30th, we are going to be hosting a keto dinner. And this is going to be at 190 Sunset on January 30th, sometime in the evening, early evening. Mm-hmm. And that's all the details that I have right now. But the main focus is going to be that we serve a completely ketogenic friendly meal. So everything that is served is going to be safe and good for a ketogenic dieter.
So what we're saying is mark it on your calendar. Keep it there because we are set on the date, but details are going to come out soon. So we will make sure that you know those details, whether it's in our next podcast, our next video, on all of our social media and websites. We will make sure that you guys know all the details that you need to know. But for now, mark that date. January 30th, it's a Thursday, for the ketogenic dinner. And you get to sit with us!
Yay!
Okay, I know it doesn't sound as exciting as it might be.
Oh, I'm sure people are stoked.
I'm stoked. I just went to a ketogenic dinner and it was great. So
yeah, I think that I like the idea of just people not having to worry about what they're choosing to eat, if it's going to be in their plan or not.
Right, because we talk about it. We've talked about it in an episode before of like, what do you do at a restaurant?
How do you make
this
it keto?
time? You will not have to make any kind of replacements or substitutes or suggestions.
We're going to take care of it for you.
Yeah, it'll all be done. You can pick anything you want off the menu. Ketogenic friendly.
All right. Thanks again for listening and watching, I guess. And remember,
fat doesn't make you fat. Sugar makes you fat.
Bye.